New incentives from Delta Airlines may have you wanting to give up your seat. The Atlanta-based carrier says its supervisors can now offer passengers nearly $10,000 to get off an overbooked flight. It was a little more than $1,300 before. If you haven't boarded yet, then the gate agents can give you up to $2,000 to take another flight. This move follows, of course, the United Airlines incident where a passenger was violently dragged from a flight, a full flight, we should say, because he refused to give up his seat to an employee. That passenger, Dr. David Dow, is planning to file a lawsuit against United. And Dow's attorney gave one piece of advice to the airlines in general: expect the unexpected.
Maybe airlines need to start expecting the unexpected, but not at the expense, certainly not at the physical expense of its paying passengers.
What a far cry from flying the friendly skies. And a new policy change today. The airline announced any crew member needing a seat must now be booked at least an hour before the flight. I want to bring in Justine Green. He's a CNN aviation analyst and an aviation attorney. And, of course, attorney Mo Ivory. Justin, let me start with you. What can we expect to unfold in the coming weeks when it comes to this lawsuit?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see whether there ever is a lawsuit. I think United would be well served to sit down with Dr. Dow's attorneys and try to work out an agreement. But in the lawsuit, they've really given up their main defense. Their main defense would be that Dr. Dow was in some manner, obviously not seen on the video, but in some manner causing a problem, and that they had the right to take him off the airplane. But they've already said Dr. Dow did nothing wrong. So in the lawsuit, what it's really going to be about isn't whether United is liable, but for how much, and ultimately whether a jury will be asked to award punitive damages to punish United for what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm in agreement with you that it would seem that if United was smart, they would settle this long before it got to a courtroom. But we'll have to wait and see. Mo, I want you to listen to what the United CEO, that's Oscar Munoz, said about blame being cast on the passenger.
Do you think he's at fault in any way?
No, he can't be. He was a paying passenger sitting on our seat in our aircraft, and no one should be treated that way, period.
There was a little bit of a pause there before he began with an obvious answer. But how do you think that could impact the case?
You know, obviously he was trying to carefully think about what he was saying, considering he's had somewhat of a different reaction in the beginning. He said many, many different things. And so this was sort of the final, like, okay, we realize what this is. We realize what's going to happen and that a lawsuit is coming and a settlement will happen. Listen, more than 95% of all airline cases go to settlement. So that is absolutely in the future. But this was a crisis management debacle for United Airlines. They did not respond in the correct way from the very beginning. I think in the future we'll probably see a new CEO of United, because this is just going to, I really do think so. I really think that this will probably cause a shakeup on the inside once everything is sort of dealt with. And they're going to have to come up with a better way to deal with their policies, deal with their passengers, and obviously their customer service, and also their relationship with the officers that they need to call in when they have a problem, or security, let me say.
That is a key issue there. Justin, a passenger on that controversial flight provided an email to CNN that was sent to them by United Airlines with instruction on redeeming travel certificates. It said, release of liability by acceptance of this travel certificate. You know, this seems rather, I won't say odd, but that there was some sort of contract you have to sign, apparently, in order to get this?
Well, you know, it wasn't given out of the kindness of United's heart. They obviously thought or saw some potential exposure to the other passengers and figured they'd send out this, it's essentially an offer of settlement. In order to get these vouchers, you have to give up your legal rights. I think it was kind of a bad decision on their part. It probably just put some more fuel on the fire.
Justin, can I ask real quick,
Sure.
do you sign, by being a passenger, is there something that you automatically had to agree to? Or Mo,
Yeah,
you could,
so I mean, there's a 37,000 word sort of document and agreement that you sign when you book your ticket. Now, how
Really?
many of us ever have read that or will read that, or does the airline even expect us to read that? But in those words, you are certainly giving up some of your liability. But, you know, you have to look at the common purpose of that, which is to have move people along quickly. So there's going to have to be a review of exactly what are in those words. Now, when a lawyer like we are, we look at those words, it does clearly say that once a passenger has boarded, you cannot then take the passenger off. So there's going to be a whole look into those 37,000 words. I'm sure some changes, and it's going to affect the way this lawsuit ends.
just in only a few seconds, you expect big changes out of this too?
I think so, and I think that, you know, even though this court, the court that this case is going to be heard is the Cook County Court in Chicago, which is a very plaintiff-friendly court, the legal case is much smaller than the public perception of what went on. So I think the media attention and the public reaction to what happened to Dr. Dow is going to make some major changes.
Right, and we all fly, so we all know.
Yeah.
We've all sort of been there in some way. Justin Green, Mo Ivory, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.